In 1990, In Living Color shattered television rules and created overnight superstars. But when the punchlines faded, chaos followed. Behind the iconic sketches were bitter feuds, public breakdowns, legal battles, addiction struggles, and shocking deaths. This is the cast then and now 2026, and the turbulent lives they never put in the script. Tommy Davidson as various characters. A 27-year-old stand-up comic, when In Living Color premiered in 1990, he became one of the show's most elastic performers, sliding between impressions and original characters with explosive energy. On screen, he was fearless, loud, physical, and rhythmically sharp, often stealing sketches with musical parodies and celebrity impressions. During the show's peak in the early 90s, Davidson toured nationally, later co-starring opposite Halle Berry in BAPS 1997, and leading the sitcom The Hughleys from 1998 to 2002, cementing himself as a recognizable comedy face of the era. Decades after making America laugh, he revealed in his 2020 memoir Living in Color that he had been abandoned as a toddler in a trash can before being adopted. The man known for high-volume humor had grown up carrying a quiet identity fracture, not learning the full truth of his origins until adulthood. Unlike some castmates, he avoided major public scandals, but he faced the subtler challenge of typecasting and the fading of sketch comedy fame once the spotlight shifted. By 2026, Davidson remains active in stand-up and television appearances, his stage presence still kinetic. Jim Carrey as various characters. At 28, when he joined In Living Color in 1990, Jim Carrey was the rubber-faced Canadian comic whose physical comedy felt almost superhuman. On the show, he became unforgettable through characters like Fire Marshal Bill, explosive, reckless, indestructible. That manic elasticity launched him into a historic run. Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, The Mask, and Dumb and Dumber all dominated 1994, turning him into one of Hollywood's highest-paid comedic actors. He later pivoted dramatically with The Truman Show, 1998, and Man on the Moon, 1999, earning Golden Globe Awards and critical respect that stretched far beyond slapstick. But off-screen, Carrey has spoken openly about enduring depression for decades and using Prozac for a period before eventually stepping away from medication in favor of spiritual exploration, meditation, and lifestyle changes. The sharpest rupture came in 2015 when his former girlfriend, Catriona White, died by suicide from a drug overdose. Her family filed wrongful death lawsuits accusing Carrey of providing medication and exposing her to an STD. He denied the allegations, and the cases were dismissed in 2018 after disputed evidence collapsed. The ordeal marked a visible retreat. Carrey grew quieter, poured himself into painting, and questioned the machinery of fame that once crowned him king. In March 2022, he announced he was likely retiring, saying he had done enough and desired a peaceful life, though he has left the door open for a project truly worth returning for. By 2026, the contrast is striking. The once uncontainable sketch anarchist now lives largely outside Hollywood's frenzy, choosing introspection over applause, a reminder that the loudest laughter can hide the heaviest silence. Now in 2026, Jim Carrey is focusing on a quieter life, balancing selective creative projects with time away from the spotlight. David Alan Grier as various characters. When he joined In Living Color in 1990 at 34, he wasn't just another comedian. He came with an MFA from the Yale School of Drama and classical chops most sketch performers simply didn't have. On screen, he was outrageous, sharp, fearless, often playing exaggerated personas that leaned fully into the show's edgy satire. The audience saw elasticity and bravado. What they didn't see was a Juilliard-level stage actor hiding inside the chaos, a performer who had already earned a Tony Award nomination in the Broadway musical the first years earlier. During the show's peak, Grier became a household name, later headlining the sitcom DAG, 2000 to 2001, and appearing in films like Boomerang and Jumanji. But the twist was cruelly ironic. The very sketches that made him famous quietly boxed him in. Casting directors often saw the caricatures first and the trained actor second. For years, he wrestled with being perceived as just a sketch comic, despite his stage pedigree and dramatic range. The laughs were loud, the artistic frustration quieter. It took decades to rebalance that narrative. Returning to theater, Greer rebuilt his reputation on Broadway, earning a Tony Award nomination in 2012 for the Gershwin's Porgy and Bess, and later winning a Tony Award in 2023 for A Soldier's Play. The recognition felt less like a comeback and more like overdue acknowledgement. By 2026, he stands as proof that longevity can outlast typecasting. The man once confined to punchlines finally recognized as the serious actor he had always trained to be. Kim Wayans as various characters. At just 29, when In Living Color premiered in 1990, she stood as the only Wayans sister in a brother-dominated comedy dynasty, commanding the screen with fearless performances, stretching her face into elastic absurdity, delivering biting satire, and snapping from outrageous to razor-sharp in a heartbeat. During the show's peak, she became a defining presence. But behind the sketches, tension simmered. Fellow cast member Kim Coles later claimed she was fired after complaints that she was receiving too much attention, a painful backstage fracture that lingered for years before the two eventually reconciled and even shared the stage again in the Kims of comedy. In 1993, Kim, along with Keenan Ivory and Damon Wayans, walked away from the show amid a bitter dispute with Fox over syndication rights, a bold exit that fractured the empire at its height. The twist in her story came years later. Known primarily as a comedian, Wayans stunned audiences with her dramatic turn as Audrey in Pariah, 2011, portraying a devout mother unable to accept her daughter's sexuality. Yet even with critical praise, she has acknowledged struggling to find substantial roles outside comedy. Now, in 2026, Kim Wayans stands as a quieter force, writing, acting selectively, and speaking openly about growth and self-definition. Takaya Crystal Kima as various characters. At 28, when In Living Color debuted in 1990, she brought a grounded sharpness to a show built on exaggeration. While others leaned into chaos, Kima's performances carried precision, whether parodying public figures or anchoring ensemble sketches with quiet authority. During the series' peak, she became one of its most recognizable female players, later joining the Disney Channel sitcom That's So Raven, 2003 to 2007, as Raven's mother, Tanya Baxter, introducing herself to a new generation. In an industry that often pressured black actresses to conform, Kima chose to wear her natural hair, resisting expectations to chemically straighten it for broader appeal. She later wrote books encouraging women to embrace natural beauty, challenging the damaging idea that textured hair was somehow unprofessional or unattractive. The woman who played bold caricatures on television was, in real life, engaged in a quiet cultural stand. Then came the unexpected turn. She stepped back from Hollywood. Rather than chase visibility, Kima shifted toward theater, writing, directing, and teaching, investing in craft over celebrity. By 2026, she remains active primarily in stage work and arts education, far from mainstream spotlight. Jamie Foxx as various characters. Only 22 when he joined In Living Color in 1991, Jamie Foxx entered a stage dominated by larger-than-life personalities. He was kinetic and musical, often stepping into impressions with uncanny precision. Though he arrived after the original core ensemble, his charisma was undeniable. By the mid-1990s, he transitioned into his own sitcom, The Jamie Foxx Show, 1996 to 2001, proving he could anchor a series. Then came the reinvention. In 2004, his portrayal of Ray Charles in Ray earned him the Academy Award for Best Actor, a rare leap from sketch comedy to Oscar prestige. He followed with acclaimed performances in Collateral, Django Unchained, and a successful music career that included a Grammy-winning hit, Blame It. Yet the twist in Fox's story is how quickly triumph can meet uncertainty. On April 12, 2023, his daughter Corinne announced he had been hospitalized due to an unspecified medical complication. Details remained private, fueling public concern, but he gradually recovered and later reappeared publicly, signaling resilience. That same year, in November 2023, he faced a lawsuit from a woman alleging sexual assault in 2015. Fox denied the allegations, and the legal matter became part of a new, complicated chapter in his life. Now, in 2026, Fox remains active, balancing selective acting projects with production work, his legacy still defined by extraordinary range. Jennifer Lopez as Fly Girl. Just 21 in 1991, Jennifer Lopez stepped into the spotlight of In Living Color as a Fly Girl, framed by strobe lights, high-energy choreography, and relentless sketch comedy. By 1997, she exploded into the spotlight portraying Selena Quintanilla in Selena, earning Golden Globe attention and transforming from dancer to leading actress. The late 90s and early 2000s cemented her as a dual force. Chart-topping albums like On the Six and films such as Out of Sight and The Wedding Planner built a global brand few entertainers have matched. But fame came with relentless scrutiny. Her high-profile relationships, from Sean Diddy Combs to Ben Affleck, became tabloid currency. She married singer Mark Anthony in 2004, had twins, then divorced in 2014. In a twist that felt scripted, she reunited with Affleck nearly 2 decades after their first broken engagement, marrying him in 2022, only to file for divorce in 2024, returning her love life to headline territory. She has also faced persistent criticism about her vocal abilities and questions over studio enhancement, controversies that shadowed even her commercial dominance. As of 2026, Lopez remains a business powerhouse, acting, producing, touring, her image meticulously controlled yet constantly debated. Shawn Wayans as various characters. At 19, when In Living Color began in 1990, Shawn Wayans grew up in front of the camera, surrounded by siblings who were rewriting sketch comedy. As the 90s rolled forward, he and his brother Marlon turned that momentum into box office dominance, co-writing and starring in Scary Movie, 2000, and Scary Movie 2, 2001, both massive commercial hits. Then came White Chicks, 2004, and Little Man, 2006, cementing the Wayans brand as a reliable engine of outrageous parody. After the first 2 Scary Movie films, Shawn and Marlon were removed from creative control of the franchise they had created, reportedly pushed out by producer Harvey Weinstein before the 3rd installment. The series continued without them, commercially viable, but no longer theirs. It marked a fracture not just in a franchise, but in momentum. Following Little Man, Shawn gradually receded from major studio releases, appearing far less frequently on screen. For years, his absence fueled speculation. Was it choice, exhaustion, or the aftershock of losing control over his own creation? Meanwhile, the once dominant Wayans empire no longer held the same unified cultural grip it had in the 1990s and early 2000s. By 2026, however, there are confirmed plans for the Wayans brothers to reunite for a new Scary Movie revival, signaling a possible reclamation of legacy. Marlon Wayans as various characters. At just 18, he burst onto In Living Color in 1992 as the youngest Wayans brother, bringing a wild, fearless energy that pushed every joke right to the edge. That raw energy carried into film, where he and Shawn co-wrote and starred in Scary Movie, 2000, and Scary Movie 2, 2001, both major commercial hits. He followed with White Chicks, 2004, and Little Man, 2006, helping turn outrageous parody into a family brand. At his peak, he was synonymous with unfiltered comedy that filled theaters worldwide. But off-camera, the tone shifted. In 2020, his mother, Elvira Wayans, died, a loss he described as shattering. In 2023, his father, Howell Wayans, passed away as well, a second emotional blow that forced him to confront grief publicly. Marlon has spoken about turning to therapy and leaning on comedy not as escape, but as survival. He admitted that after losing his parents, he no longer had to act sadness in dramatic scenes. He could access it instantly by thinking of his mother. He has also shared that he never married, in part because he viewed his mother as the central woman in his life, a revealing contrast to the outrageous bachelor personas he often played. By 2026, Wayans continues stand-up and acting, occasionally facing criticism for provocative humor, yet speaking more openly about vulnerability and mental health. Damon Wayans as various characters. By the time In Living Color debuted in 1990, Damon Wayans was 30 and already hardened by the industry. Years earlier, he had been fired from Saturday Night Live after deliberately altering a sketch performance on live television, a rebellious act that branded him difficult but unforgettable. On In Living Color, he became the creative engine, shaping its edgy tone alongside his brother Keenan. Characters like Homie D. Clown turned satire into cultural commentary, and at the show's height, the Wayans name felt unstoppable. In 1993, Damon left the series amid a tense dispute with Fox over creative control and syndication rights, fracturing the foundation at its peak. He rebounded with My Wife and Kids, 2001 to 2005, and later co-led the TV adaptation of Lethal Weapon, 2016 to 2019. Yet behind the success, the cost mounted. During Lethal Weapon, he revealed he was working exhausting 16-hour days, missing family surgeries, graduations, and milestones, admitting the painful irony of playing a devoted father on screen while feeling absent at home. His health added another layer. Diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, he has spoken about the daily discipline it requires. In 2015, he underwent surgery to remove a benign pituitary tumor, a sobering reminder of mortality. More recently, projects like Papa's House faced setbacks after cancellation. As of 2026, Damon Wayans remains a respected pioneer of sketch comedy, continuing to shape the industry through selective projects, stand-up appearances, and his lasting influence on a new generation of comedians. In Living Color made rebellion look effortless and laughter feel unstoppable. But when the sketches ended, real life proved far messier, marked by illness, lawsuits, broken partnerships, grief, and reinvention. If these twists changed the way you see the show, wait until you hear what happened to the rest of your 90s icons. So, before you go, tell us in the comments, whose journey shocked you the most, and why? Don't forget to like and subscribe for more untold stories behind the spotlight.